Welcome to ChatGPT prompt formula. In this couple of lessons, we will learn more about a formula that will help you to write better prompts so you can get a better and higher quality response from ChatGPT. So let's begin. In this lesson, we will only learn the formula, the structure of the formula. And as we go forward, we will go deeper into each part of this formula. So let's look at the formula that we have for the prompt. So the first option that we have here is role plus goal plus context plus ABA. So as I said, this is the formula that we have. So as we go forward, we will have a separate lecture for each of these elements here. But right now, we will only focus on the formula and the goal. So the first and the third and the fourth element here, meaning the role, context, and ABA, are optional. Meaning if you add them based on the situation, based on the question that you are asking ChatGPT, you may get a better result. But the goal here is required. Okay, this is the main thing that we must write in all of the prompts that we want to provide to ChatGPT. So let's learn more about the goal. The goal is the main request we send to ChatGPT. Let's look at some examples. For example, write a blog post about personal finance. Okay, this is the main task that we want ChatGPT to do for us, right? Let's look at another example. Create a portfolio website for me. Okay, again, we are talking about the main task that ChatGPT must complete. Okay, this is the goal that we are talking about, the main request. So this goal should be, first, it should be clear and focused. Okay, so try to avoid using sentences or words that may confuse the main task. Okay, try to keep it clear and focused on the main task. And second, try to use relevant keywords. For example, here, as you can see, we have a blog post about personal finance. Blog post, personal finance. All of these keywords are related to the main goal that we have here. Or create a portfolio website for me. Okay, the portfolio website are the keywords here. Okay. As we go forward, we'll practice this. Don't worry if it sounds confusing. And on the next lesson, we will talk about the role. So, see you on the next lesson. In this lesson, we are going to talk about the role in our prompt formula. So, at the beginning of our prompt, if we assign a role to ChatGPT, we will receive a better and higher quality response from GPT. So, let's look at some examples. For example, we can tell ChatGPT right at the beginning of our prompt, we can say, I want you to act as a professional digital marketer. And then we will add our goal. For example, now that you are a professional digital marketer, write a blog post or write an email for doing this marketing campaign and then provide the rest of the context, right? The rest of the information. Another example, please respond to me as a product manager. Okay, we are assigning a role to ChatGPT, and this will change the way GPT respond to us. Okay, in addition, I added this PDF to the resources of this lesson, which shows you different roles that you can use to assign to your ChatGPT. As you can see here on the left side, we have the roles, the act, and on the right side, we have prompt examples with the roles at the beginning. So for example, here we have JavaScript console. Here we have the example. I want you to act as a JavaScript console and then the rest of it. Okay. If we come down, we have a lot of different examples. For example, advertiser, storyteller, okay, composer, right, novelist, screenwriter. Okay, you can go through all of these examples, or if you need some specific example for your situation, you can come here and search through the act and find the connected examples, so it will help you to write a better prompt for your situation. So that was all about the PDF. Let's jump into ChatGPT and practice this together. All right, here we are. And as I said, the role should be at the beginning of the prompt. So I'm going to paste the example that we had, I want you to act as a professional digital marketer with holding shift and pressing enter. I will go to the next line, and now I will write down my goal or my main request. I want you to write an engaging email subject about our massive Black Friday sales. And if you provide detailed information about your products, ChatGPT will be able to write a better subject. For example, let's say we have our products are polo shirts and we sell them online on our store. So I'm going to add additional information here, and I'm going to write down my products are polo shirts and we sell them on our online shop. Okay, so if I press enter, based on the information that I provided and based on the role that I assigned to ChatGPT, it writes a good subject for email marketing. Okay, so that was all about this lesson, about assigning a role. And the next lesson we will have some practices, and after that we will continue learning about the rest of the formula. Welcome to the first challenge of this part. You will not learn a new skill unless you practice it. So let's practice what we have learned till now. So here is the challenge. Ask ChatGPT to write blog post title about personal finance that works well for SEO. For those of you who are not familiar with SEO, SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization, which is a science that will help you to rank higher, that your websites, your web pages rank higher in search engines like Google. Okay, so here are the steps that you need to take. The first step is to assign a role to ChatGPT, and the second step is to provide the main task or the goal to ChatGPT. Okay, so pause the video and begin the challenge. All right, how was it? Did you manage to complete the challenge? Let's practice it together. So the first step is to assign a role to ChatGPT. I want you to act as a SEO expert. Okay. Then for the second step, we need to write down our goal. Write a blog post title about personal finance that works well for SEO. So if I press enter, so here is the blog post title, Top 10 Personal Finance Strategies for 2023. Boost your savings and maximizing your investment. Okay. So this is the title that we received, and this was the way to complete this challenge. Now, this was an example. We can do it with other ways. For example, we can write down, I want you to act as a SEO expert, or you can write, you are a SEO expert, SEO professional, the way you prefer it the most. But generally, you have to assign a role to get a better response here based on your needs. Okay, so that was all about this challenge. Let's go for the next part of the formula. All right, so let's talk about the next element on our prompt formula, which is context. In general, context is about adding information for ChatGPT, and additional information help ChatGPT to provide a better answer. Earlier, we made an example that we talked about our product, which it was polo shirt, and we were selling those polo shirts on our online shop. That was additional information, or in our formula, we call it context. But there are more types in the context, and for that, I created a list for you, so you can use this list based on the situation you have and the needs you have for your prompt. So here is the list. The first item on the list is define target, TSL, format, example, output template, and finally we have task split. Now for each of them we will have a separate lecture, but that's the general list for context that you can use for different situations to receive a higher quality answer from ChatGPT. So that was about the list. On the next lesson, we will focus and learn more about defining the target. let's learn more about defining the target. So if you ask ChatGPT to create content for you, you can define the target for that specific content. Let's look at some examples here. The first example is to write a blog post about personal finance for young people with no knowledge in finance. This part will make a huge difference in the response of ChatGPT. For example, we can say write a blog post about personal finance for people with deep knowledge in finance. Okay, that will be different with this example that we have here, right? So another example. Write an invitation email to our company opening event for executives and managers of other companies. When we are telling this to ChatGPT, it will understand how it should write it for this proper target audience, right? So let's jump into ChatGPT and practice this together. Let's say we want ChatGPT to write a motivational speech. First, we need to assign a role, right? So I want you to act as a professional speechwriter. Then let's write about the goal that we have. Draft a motivational speech. Okay. Now this is the part that we need to add the next context, which is defining our target audience for high school graduates. Okay. This part will make a huge difference in the response of ChatGPT. Okay, if I press enter, it will provide us a great speech based on the situation that we needed, right? So that was all about defining the target, and you can go ahead and practice this yourself on ChatGPT. On the next part, we will learn more about the next element on our list, which is TSL. Welcome to the next lesson where we are going to talk about TSL. Now, TSL stands for tone, style, and length. Okay, so let's go deeper into each of them and have some examples so we can understand it better. So let's start with the first one, which is tone. The tone refers to the mood or attitude used in the writing. Okay, let's look at some examples. For example, we can write a prompt for ChatGPT and say, write a humorous product description for a novelty coffee mug. Okay, so the humorous here is changing the tone for the response that ChatGPT will give us. Okay, let's have another example. Compose a respectful obituary for a community leader who recently passed away. So respectful here is changing the tone, changing the mood or the attitude, okay? So there are many different adjectives that you can use to change the tone of the response that ChatGPT provides us, okay? Let's go for the next one, which is style, okay? So the style refers to the distinct way in which the content is written. For example, formal or informal, complex or simple, okay? So more or less when we say a style, we're talking about the structure of the sentence, okay? And this can have a huge impact on the response that ChatGPT provides us based on the situation that we have. Let's look at some examples. Draft a formal academic text summarizing the key findings on renewable energy. Okay, so I made two examples here, formal, academic, okay? So these are the things that you can use. For example, when you want to write a letter to your boss asking for a raise, okay, it's better to be formal, okay? But when you're writing a letter, an email to your friend, it should be informal, okay? So let's look at another example. Write an informal or conversational blog post about the joys and challenges of raising a puppy, okay? Let's go for the last one, which is length, which I think more or less it's obvious, and we had this example before. When we say length, we are talking about the word count, or I think it's better when you are talking to ChatGPT, instead of word count, use token count, okay? So let's have some examples. For example, write 150 word product description, etc. Okay. Write an in-depth 2000 word feature article exploring the history of jazz music. Okay. Right. So these are the two examples for length, but based on my experience, instead of providing the word count, for example, 150 word, it is much better to provide token count. Okay. Because ChatGPT understands tokens, the number of tokens much better comparing to number of words. And this way you will get a more accurate response from ChatGPT, right? So that was all about TSL, which stands for tone, style, and length. On the next lesson, we will talk about the format of the responses that ChatGPT provides us. See you on the next lesson. All right, so in this lesson, let's talk about the format that ChatGPT provides its response to us. So let's say we want ChatGPT to write a workout plan for gym for us, and we want the response to be in different formats. So let's write the prompt at the beginning. So we want ChatGPT to write a workout plan. So the first thing that we must do is to assign a role to ChatGPT. So I'm going to write down act as a professional body trainer. Okay. So I'm assigning a role to ChatGPT. The next, I must write down the task or the goal that I have. So I want to improve my body. Okay. And I want you to create a gym workout plan. And here inside parentheses, I can add more information. So ChatGPT understand exactly what do I mean by gym workout plan. Okay, so inside parentheses, I'm going to write down which machines I must use for how many times and sets. Okay, so by offering additional information, ChatGPT understand exactly what I need from it. Okay, so here is the part that I want to define the format. So my sentence is this: I want to improve my body and I want you to create a gym workout plan as a CSV format. Okay, so I'm going to press enter and I'm going to fast forward the process, the response of ChatGPT. So here ChatGPT, instead of offering the workout plan to me, it asked me several questions. For example, what is your gender, how old are you, and etc. It requires more information from me so it can create that plan for me. Okay, so I'm gonna, instead of adding it here, I'm gonna edit my prompt and add it inside my prompt. Okay, I'm gonna mention that, for example, I'm 31 years old. Okay, I'm 75 kilogram. Okay, and I'm male. Okay, and one of the questions here was about, for example, for how many days full body. So I'm gonna add those information inside my prompt. I want you to create a weekly gym workout plan. Okay, this way it understands for how many days. I'm gonna save and submit it. Okay, and I'm gonna fast forward till it provides the complete answer. All right, so the answer is complete, and as you can see, it provided a plan as a CSV file here. So on the first column, we have the day, then we have the exercise, equipment that it must be used, sets, the number of sets, and how many times we have to do this process in each set. Okay, so we have, for example, Monday, then we have the exercise type, then we have the equipment, for example, dumbbell, 3 sets between 10 to 12 times each set. Okay, so this is the format for CSV file. Okay, I can change that as a table as well. So instead of writing it as a CSV, I can say write it as a table. Okay, so I'm going to save and submit, and I'm going to fast forward till the answer is ready. All right, the answer is ready. As you can see, it provided a table. And I can come here, select the table, okay? Select the table, copy it, go to Excel or a Google spreadsheet and just paste it here, okay? So as you can see, we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday planned with exactly what we have to use, what equipment, how many times, how many sets, and so on, okay? So this is a great way to use ChatGPT, and this is how you can tell ChatGPT in what format you expect the response, okay? So that was all for this lesson. On the next part, we are going to talk about example in the prompt. See you on the next lesson. So in this lesson, we are going to talk about examples in prompt. First of all, when do we need to provide an example inside our prompt? We should provide an example if we want ChatGPT to create something, to create a content similar to something that we like and we are interested in, like an example, okay? So here, this is one of my blog posts about link building, and I want to tell ChatGPT to write a blog post about something else, but I want to tell ChatGPT to write similar to me, okay, the way that I write. So I can come here and write down, for example, you are a professional copywriter, okay? I want you to write a blog post about digital marketing, okay? But here I'm going to offer an example, but I want you to write with my style, okay? So below, I will provide an example. Here is an example of my writing. So here I'm gonna come and copy an example of my writing and paste it there. It's not necessary to do it all, but enough for ChatGPT to understand how you write. So I'm gonna pass it to ChatGPT, and certainly based on your style, here is a blog post about digital marketing, okay? So this is one of the ways that you can offer an example to ChatGPT and get a response similar to what you have provided. For example, if you see an ad on social media that, for example, the copy is very interesting, the text is very interesting, and you think it is successful, you can copy and paste it here as an example and provide it to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to create similar to the one that you are interested in, okay? So that was all about providing an example. And the next lesson, we are going to talk about output template. In this lesson, we are going to talk about output template. Now, output template is a little bit similar to the format example that we talked about it earlier, but this time we design a template for ChatGPT and we tell ChatGPT how the response should be based on the structure that we provided, okay? So I'm going to show you a real project example that I use ChatGPT for some web application. This is, I will talk more about what I have done here in the advanced section and in the API chapter of this course. But here we will only focus on the prompt. So here inside this code, I wrote a prompt. Okay, I will get this prompt. Okay, and I'm going to copy this prompt inside my ChatGPT. And let's look at the output template that I provided inside this example. So I told ChatGPT to create a Python dictionary named questions. Okay, I provided a name. And it's okay if you are not familiar with Python or dictionaries, it's okay. I just want you to understand how the output template works out, okay? So create a Python dictionary named questions, okay? Where the keys are, for example, question 1, question 2, right? I added examples here, right? And the value is a list with the first item as multiple choice question and 4 list items for each 4 choices. So I use this prompt to tell ChatGPT to create multiple choice questions with its choices. And then I said at the last item, add the number of the correct answer from 1 to 4. Okay. Then I mentioned that put the correct answer randomly from 1 up to 4. Okay. All of these are the output template. I'm telling ChatGPT exactly how the response should be. Now, when I press enter and you see the response, you can understand it better. Okay. Then at the end, I will tell from what ChatGPT must create the questions. Okay. So I'm going to replace this because this will work only with the code that I have here. So I'm going to replace it and say now create, for example, 3 multiple choice questions and place it inside the questions Python dictionary for important informations. Okay, now I'm going to change it for important informations of the book Atomic Habits. Okay, so I offered an output template to ChatGPT, and then I said create 3 multiple choice questions for this book, okay, for the important information inside this book. Now I'm going to press enter, okay, and ChatGPT will start to create the response based on the structure that I provided. Okay, so as you can see, it created a Python dictionary called questions. Okay, then inside it we have question 1, question 2, question 3, the same way that I mentioned here. You see question 1, question 2, and I didn't write question 3, 4, 5, right? But I provided some examples, some output structure, so ChatGPT understand exactly what do I need. Okay, and after that I said the value is a list with the first item as a multiple choice question. Here is a list. Okay, this is a list, and the first item is the multiple choice question. Okay, and then after that we have 4 choices, and then the number of correct answer, which here is 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3, this is the correct answer. Okay, it goes the same way, right? So this was an example of a real project that I created an output template for ChatGPT. Now you can do it any other way. Let me make another example to make it more clear. So let's go back to the gym plan, okay? And here I'm going to change this. I said that as a table format, then I can provide an output template. I can say, here are the columns you should have, okay? Days, okay? What else do we have here? We have exercise, okay? I'm going to copy and paste them, and I'm going to add something to it as well, okay? So we have exercise, machine and equipments, sets, okay, reps. And here, for example, I'm going to write down time required, okay? I'm adding another column here. And you can go deeper into this, make some changes the way you want it to be, okay? I'm going to save it, and then it will submit it based on my needs. Okay, so you see we have another column here, time required for it. And just giving me, for example, for this practice, it requires 20 minutes. Okay, for this one, 15, 15, 15, 20. So in general, I would know how it should be. I can stop it and say, for example, let's edit it. For example, I can say, add a row at the end of each day and mention the total time required for that day. Save and submit it. Now let's see how ChatGPT will complete this task based on the template that we provided. All right, so we have Monday, then we have the exercises that is required, and here at the end of the Monday we must have a row for the total time. Okay, right. So here it is. You see, it added a row for the total time required. So we know that for Monday, we required almost 1 hour, 65 minutes. And for Tuesday, we require 70 minutes, right? So you can change this any way that you want it. So this is how you create an output template for inside your prompt for the responses that ChatGPT provide you. Okay, so that was all about this lesson. If you have any question, don't forget to reach me in the question and answer section or inside our Discord group. On the next lesson, we are going to talk about task split. So see you on the next part. All right, so in this lesson, I'm going to teach you how you can use task split. Now, when you are writing a prompt, especially for complex tasks, for example, you want ChatGPT to create a website for you, okay? Creating a website can be complex. It has different parts, and the best way to do this is to tell ChatGPT to split the tasks for you. So we can come here inside the prompt and write down, I want you to create a portfolio website for me. And then I'm going to tell ChatGPT to split this into different tasks and then start with task 1, explain it to me, tell me how I have to do this, how I have to assign the codes. Let's say I don't have any knowledge of programming and how I have to do this, then go for the next step, okay? So I wrote down, split this task into a smaller tasks, then explain each task to me and tell me how I have to complete it because I don't have any programming knowledge, okay? So I'm gonna press enter and then it will split the main task, which is creating a portfolio website for me. For example, here, step 1 is planning, step 2 is choosing a website builder. Okay, now I can change this. Okay, I can say let's make some changes in the main task. I want you to create a portfolio website for me using HTML and CSS. Okay, split this task into a smaller tasks, explain each task. So in order for ChatGPT to understand what do I mean by splitting into a smaller tasks, I can say, I can provide examples, right? I can say, for example, build the header, then the first part of the body, then the footer, okay, then CSS codes and so on, okay? So let's save and submit this. And now it understands how I want this main complex task to be divided into or to be splitted into other tasks, okay? So step 1, setting up your coding environment. Okay, it is explaining how I have to do this, building the HTML structure, and then it is providing the codes for me. So by this simple prompt, I can just follow up what ChatGPT is telling me and create a website for me. But don't worry about this. This was just an example to tell you how you can split different complex tasks into a smaller ones. As we go forward, we have a complete section about using ChatGPT if you are not a programmer. Okay, if you have no knowledge of programming, how you can use ChatGPT for programming. Okay, this is one of the examples that later in that chapter we will talk more about it and go deeper into it. And more or less that would be all for now. On the next lesson, we will talk about the last element in our prompt formula, which is ABA. Okay, so that was all for this lesson. I will see you on the next part. All right, so here is the prompt formula that we had earlier. We talked about role, we talked about goal, we talked about context and different type of it. Now it's the last element, ABA. So let's see what it is. ABA stands for ask before answer. This part of formula will help ChatGPT to provide higher quality responses. Okay, we are telling ChatGPT before you answer our question, okay, before you answer our prompt, if you have any questions that will help you to increase the quality of your answer, ask us. We had the experience before. Let's jump into ChatGPT and talk more about it. All right, so here we are. And before, when we wanted to create a gym plan, okay, if we go back to the first step, when I asked ChatGPT to create a gym plan for us, a workout plan for us, instead of answering our prompt, it asked us 8 questions. Okay, these 8 questions would help ChatGPT to write a better response for us. Now, we can instruct ChatGPT to do this all the time, and I suggest you to do this if you want higher quality responses from ChatGPT. For example, we can come here to the task split example, okay, and we can change this prompt. At the end of it, we can say, before you answer this prompt, okay, ask questions for additional information so you can write a better response for this task. Okay, you can write this any way that you want, but in general, I'm telling ChatGPT before you answer my prompt, ask additional questions for more information that will help you to provide a higher quality response. So I'm going to save this. Okay, so let's see what questions it will ask me. So as you can see, it is asking me about the purpose, okay, the content that I want to put, the sections that I want to have on my website, the design preferences, okay, references. So I strongly suggest you, every time that you want to use ChatGPT for important tasks, okay, mention this any way that you want to write it, but force ChatGPT to ask you additional questions. Okay, this will increase the quality of the responses that ChatGPT will provide us. Okay, so again, as you can see, it asks us about the purpose, content, section, design, references, functionality. Okay, and now I can write down, for example, 1, write down my answer. Okay, come down, write down 2, my answer, whatever it is, and so on. This way, I provided additional information to ChatGPT, and now the website that it creates, it works much better for me, and I receive a better and higher quality result from it. So that was all about the prompt formula. Again, practice this. Without practicing, you will forget all of this. I strongly suggest you to practice it over and over about the tasks that you have in your mind and you want to work out with ChatGPT. Okay, so that was all about this lesson. If you have any question, do not hesitate to ask me. I do my best to respond to all of your questions and be there for you to help you with the problems that you face along the way. So that was all about this lesson. If you're ready, let's go for the next part.